Auto email messages, called automations in MailChimp, can be used to do several different things. First off, they can deliver your opt-in immediately. They can also be used to welcome new subscribers and even to send updates to your current list. Let me give you an example of one type of automation that's actually a sequence, and then we'll go over to MailChimp and I'll show you how to create it. An example of a sample welcome sequence is when someone uses your sign up to get updates. Instead of just replying, hey, you're on the list and we'll send updates periodically, you could do something a little more nurturing. So if you had an opt-in, you would deliver that. If they just signed up for updates, then it would just be like a thank you, we're so glad you joined us message. In the next message, you'd go a little bit further, and you might wait, a day or two for this one, and you'd introduce more who you are and what they can expect from you. And then maybe a few days later, you'd ask them some questions about them. Like if it was from an opt-in, you would ask them if they found it helpful. If it was from signing up for updates, you could ask them where they are in their journey, or even create a poll. MailChimp allows you to create a poll, and then you could tag them based on their responses so that you know which things they're most interested in hearing about. And then finally, you can even do another one following up, maybe sharing previous blog posts of yours or even blog posts of others that you know of that you feel like will add value to them. So let's take a look at some examples and I'll show you how easy it is. All right, so when you're here in MailChimp, again, you just create a campaign. This time it's going to be an email campaign. So we'll call it an automation test. And we're going to pick automated. So just to let you know the difference between the two, regular, everything's going to be the same, except for at the end of the regular process, you're either going to send it right away or you're going to schedule it for a specific date and time. With automated, we're going to say, when this happens, send it. So in other words, when someone signs up for my email list, start this sequence. Or when someone requests my opt-in, send it to them. So that's the difference between the two of those. So since we picked automation, it's asking us for some different reasons, and we'll pick. Do we want to email subscribers when they've been tagged? Or do we want to welcome new subscribers when they sign up to your list? Let's do email subscribers when they're tagged, because that could apply to both new subscribers and to an opt-in, so it's a better example. And this is from your main list. So it tells you right here to click Design Email to choose a template and add content. When you're finished designing, you'll click Next. The trigger is 1 day after tag is added to the content. So you have to select a tag. So in this case so far, we've created 2 different tags, one for people who requested the budget worksheets and one for people who signed up for the updates. So you would create a different sequence for each one of those, because the budget one, you're going to obviously, the first thing is going to be to send them the worksheets. For the updates, the first one is going to be to just thank them for joining you. So let's choose budget. And then we're just going to put update trigger. Now, it's 1 day after they've been tagged. Well, we don't really want it to be 1 day after because they need it immediately. They've asked for it, they want it. So let's change our trigger. So come back over here to edit and change it to immediately. And now we're going to design the email. So name your email. It says tag to content, but we're going to want to remember that this is requested budget worksheets. So the subject, if you want to have preview text, this is the little snippet that shows in some people's email browser. You can fill it out or leave it blank. Who's it from? You could change it instead of your name, since they don't really know you, to the blog name if you want. The email address is going to be the one that you set up with your MailChimp account. Okay, now you can pick. Now you can pick from any one of these, all different, and these are really good when you're going to do a newsletter style too and you want to add some photos. I'm going to choose simple text and just show you how easy it is to edit, because it doesn't, even though it's called simple text, so you can add different things like this. Drop your block here. Now there's an image. We'll just use this one for now. If you had another file created, you could upload, but we're just going to add that. Delete that box. So this one's at the top now. So you type your message. You can make changes here, making it bold, italicized, everything you can in a regular word editor. Now, remember I talked about merge tags, and I was saying, like, since we have asked for their first name, we can add that in here. Here you go, first name. So you put that in here, and now it's going to say, congratulations, Julie, on taking the first step to financial freedom, or congratulations, Tim, whatever their first name is. Then you have the rest of your text in there. You can center things, you can change the text color, you can change the background color, so you could actually have a piece of it that is a little bit different color there, and then you'd want to go like a lighter text there. And it's showing you over here what it's going to look like. So make whatever changes you want. This is the first email, so you're just delivering it to them. You could also link to a blog post, or it's really up to you what you want to say at this point. But this is how you do it. And then you just close it. And then another great thing here about going to the Content Studio is you could add a signature block. You can make it a little bit smaller if you don't want it too big. If you had a photo of yourself, you wanted to include a photo, you could. So there's all kinds of different things you can do, even though it looked like it was going to be just a plain text email. So again, even though that's an image, what it actually is bringing us to our files. And here is the budget in Excel. And here is the budget in PDF. But once they're in, you just insert them. You could also import them from a URL. So now we have our email that's delivering their opt-in. You could stop with that, or like I said, you could develop more of a nurture sequence. And by that, what I mean is you would add the second email. And this one would come, it says 1 day after someone's received the previous one. How about we give them time to actually look at it and make it 3 days? It's your choice. In this email, you're doing a little follow-up. Again, preview text if you want. The from name could be your name, or if they don't know you and you want them to recognize you from the blog, you could change that. Again, you can pick any one of these. We'll just do simple text. And we'll edit and we'll say hi. First name. So now you put a little bit of text, and you might even say, like, you hope they found the budget worksheets helpful. So you also want to maybe link to a blog post. So here's a relevant blog post. It's simple steps to creating a budget. Maybe they need a little bit more help. So you go and you take that URL and you come here, and now look, this right here is link. You can add a link. And now there'll be a link there in that. And then you say, please let me know if you have any questions. My goal with F Lifestyle is to help others along their financial journey. And then again, you could put in a signature block if you had a photo. And you can get really creative with these. Remember, I showed you in Canva how you can create so many great graphics. Here's where you could do some branding. You could add another logo up here. This lets you add, like if you wanted to add a different image up here, if you wanted to add a button, I mean, there's all these different things, social share, all different things that you can add. And then you save and close. And now you see you have a sequence of 2 emails. Now if you wanted to add a third, same process, however long you want your sequence to be. Usually a welcome sequence should probably be at least 3 email messages, but just so this lesson isn't too long, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next step. Because another great thing about MailChimp is you can always come in here and edit these also. So right now, you're tracking clicks and opens in the email, which is great because that's the last thing I'm going to show you is reports, and they're really helpful. The first thing is immediately after a person is tagged from that landing page budget, They're going to get that first email that is going to have the budget worksheets. 3 days later, they're going to get the second email. So if you agree with that, you can say start sending. But what's even better is to send a test first to yourself. That way you can check all the links and you can check the attachments and you can make sure that everything is working perfectly. So all you have to do to send a test is click Save Send Test, and you'll get an email and you'll be able to check all the links and the attachments. The only thing that doesn't work in the test email is it'll say, hello, test first name. It won't say, hello, Julie, or hello, Tim, because it's a test. So that merge tag doesn't work, but everything else, the links and everything should work. Once you get that in your email and you check it and you make sure it's the way you want it, you can hit start sending. If you need to make a change, you just come right in here, edit, and it's going to take you right back to that one. Edit here, it's going to take you back to automation number 2. We're going to say that we saw that test and it looks good, so we want to start sending. And it tells you that you've done it. Now, if you log in, say next week, and you wanted to edit that sequence, say somebody replied to you and said that something really didn't make sense in the spreadsheet. So you wanted to go back in and make a change to the spreadsheet, and then you want to upload a new version. All you do is you come here to campaigns, and here are your campaigns. This shows you this little sequence here. Email subscribers when they're tagged, F lifestyle, and that it's currently sending. This is a landing page. See, a landing page. So if you ever wanted to edit your landing page, you could. Here's the landing page for updates. If you ever wanted to update that, you could. And all you do is come over here and say edit, and on this one, edit. Also, report is coming up first. So the report tells you, it'll tell you once people start getting the email, what percent of them opened, and so right now it's a percentage. When you hover over it, how many opens, how many clicks, and then it'll also tell you the total number of sends. And then you could also click on it here and it would tell you how many people actually clicked also on those links in there. So that way you could find out if people were actually clicking on things, if they were downloading things, and you would know how well you're doing. This isn't everything in MailChimp. There's a whole lot more you could do, but my goal with this was to give you enough information to go ahead and get a sign-up form, to get an opt-in going, to get an email sequence, and basically just to get started with your email messaging to your subscribers so that you can keep them fully engaged and coming back to your blog.